Good evening. I'm Bruce Barnes, Director of George Eastman House. I have previously submitted extensive comments and evidence supporting the view that a certificate of appropriateness should not be granted for this project. I refer you to my prior submission, which were resubmitted today, accompanying a letter from Patton Algeria at Paris Beach. I in particular refer you to the set of photographs that were just placed in front of you, which is the complete set of all buildings between Goodman and Culver on University Avenue that are within the preservation district. Those are the buildings that should be the reference point for whether or not this is an appropriate development. We believe that the proposed project is fundamentally inappropriate for this site. This is best seen by reviewing the photographs in front of you. 80% of the buildings were initially one-family houses. The only two buildings above 2 stories are a low-key 3-story apartment building and a 12-story apartment building at the intersection of Goodman, a monument to the reason why preservation districts were in fact created. Allowing construction of the proposed 4-story apartment building would set a terrible precedent. A much better precedent was set by this board several years ago when it required that the DePaul assisted living facility be reduced from 55 units to 22 units and be reduced from 3 stories to 2 stories. A similar approach should be taken with respect to this project. In the event that the majority of the board does not share my view, there are 4 specific aspects of the apartment building that should all be addressed by this board before it grants a certificate of appropriateness. The first, which we've talked about a little bit already, is the inclusion of a swimming pool on the west side of the apartment building, less than 20 feet from the property line of George Eastman's historic estate, which is a National Historic Landmark. This would impair the quiet enjoyment and contemplation of our visitors. This is an area on our property where people go to enjoy an area that's very park-like. Any certificate of appropriateness should require the elimination of this pool. The issue fundamentally is noise. It isn't view because it's a pool. And the statement that was made by the architect that it's not a critical element should be an invitation to fix this problem. Second, the removal of 5 mature white oaks in the southwest corner of the site would eliminate an important element that is screening and would otherwise continue to screen the view from George Eastman House's historic house, terrace garden, and east lawn. Noting that these trees are in good or fair condition and are considered high quality for landscape value and help enclose our lawn and the backdrop of the views, the Director of Zoning in her preliminary site plan approval made the remarkable statement that a condition of this approval pending consent by GEH is that high quality trees are to be planted on the George Eastman House property to assist in the screenings of this new building. Accommodating this inappropriate request actually, though, would do more harm than it does good, because adding trees on our east lawn would fundamentally destroy the original vista that existed on the east lawn, going all the way from East Avenue down towards University Avenue when Mr. Eastman was alive. Any certificate of appropriateness should require that none of the mature trees that currently screen the eastern view from our national landmark be removed. And I would note that there's been no evidence at all submitted that the removal of the southwestern branch of the building would in fact make it an uneconomic project. So the 5 trees should be protected. That's a very important part of your mission. 3, none of the plans submitted by the applicant have shown the inclusion of a loading dock, which will create fundamentally parking problems and traffic problems. There should be a loading dock required as part of the certificate of appropriateness. And finally, 4, there has been no indication of the location of garbage dumpsters for the apartment building. Any certificate of appropriateness should require that the garbage dumpsters not be visible from our National Historic Landmark or from University Avenue. This project will double the number of units that have been built in the East Avenue Preservation District since 1975. It is inappropriate for this site, and you've done a very good job as a board for the last 38 years in protecting against developments that are appropriate. I would urge you at this time to continue to protect the most important historic district in Rochester and one of the best preserved districts in the United States. Thank you very much.